how I would look at it and how I would run it. Plus, it gives it gives the Islanders a different look in goal. So, just when they maybe think that they're figuring something out on Freddie, that you got to worry about the other guy. I'm sure that in their dressing room they're preparing for both goaltenders, and they have scouting reports up for both guys on the board.
Rather than ask you who stood out, let me just ask you about Yevgeny Kuznetsov, who I think hit the wall after coming back after the adrenaline wore off the first few games. Totally predictable. I know. I've used the example Justin Williams. I thought in the season that was ultimately shut down for COVID, I thought he came out in his first couple of games back. You could tell he had a lot of adrenaline, and then I thought there was a natural valley. Even though it was denied by people I talked to about that, I just thought it was natural, and I thought the same thing was going to happen to Kuznetsov. But I thought he started to come back at the end of the year, just didn't have any production. I thought he was good against the Islanders in Game 1. What did you see from him? How good can he be?
Well, I mean, I think that this is just a really great environment for him to, rejuvenate his career. I feel like he recognizes the opportunity. He's got some friends on the team. He's got respect for the coach and the organization. And I know the players are, excited to have him here. He's brought in a real positive energy to the group. I think, with that lull that you were talking about, you see it a lot even with guys. You come back from injury, and for about 2 weeks you're bulletproof, but then the dog days kind of restart on you, and the grind kind of gets to you a little bit, and so it takes a little bit of time to kind of reacclimate your body to get used to what it's like to be at the rink day in, day out, with the travel and just everything that comes with being a pro. But I think he was really good in Game 1. I thought, the shot that he made was all world.
Yes.
There wasn't a lot of room up there. He lets there's a little bit of a moving screen. He lets the guy go by, take away the goalie's eyes. And when you see that from players that are, their heads up, pucks on their stick, and they're just, they're watching that front of the net. You see it a lot from some of the top, defensemen in the league where, they're just waiting to where that, they know that goalie's vision is taken away, and they snap a shot from the blue line and it finds its way into the net. That's, that to have that kind of poise and confidence with the puck speaks volumes.
It was just such a great shot, and it was so well timed as Steph Nason, who I thought was a huge player in the game. Obviously, the goal that made it 2-1, but that net front was so good. Let me ask you, because I think Andrei Svechnikov is Carolina's best power forward since number 26, Eric Cole, wore the Canes uniform. Expectations for him going into these playoffs, and he's got to be amped since he sat out last year.
Yeah, I think from everybody's standpoint, the expectations for him are definitely very high. I think, with that being said, the expectation and probably pressure that he's put on himself is even greater. So
yeah,
I'm sure that he wants to be a difference maker, and wants to be a guy that scores big goals, wins his battles, plays hard. He just does all the things that a power forward should be doing. While he's a great player, in the regular season, the way that he can play, and with his style, his ability, and his strength, he should be built to be really dominant in playoffs. So I would look for him to factor in tonight. I think that I feel like the entire team really got their feet wet on Saturday night, and I would expect the team's going to have a much better game here tonight.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually thought, even though he wasn't on the score sheet, except I guess he was because he took the penalty, I didn't even hate the penalty. Normally, the penalties that Andre has taken, I kind of dislike because they seem unnecessary. I just think it was kind of unfortunate, but I didn't hate it. I loved Andre's game pretty much start to finish. If he just keeps playing like that, I think the points are going to come. Eric Cole?
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, that can be difficult sometimes in the playoffs where you're not quite sure exactly what you're going to get out of the officiating, and like late in the season, sometimes with some of these big games down the stretch, they're letting a little bit more go, and they're kind of maybe turning a blind eye to certain plays that they don't necessarily do in December or January or something like that, and then the playoff hits, and I don't know if a memo comes down from the league or what, but you're just like, well, I mean, you've been letting that go for 2 months, and now you're going to call this, you got to try and get a beat on the officials. I'm sure Roddy's even got like scouting reports of the officials, like what the tendencies are of calls that they make and things like that. But I mean, you look at the games yesterday, and there's some plays that happen in the games yesterday that you are shaking your head at, that you're like, how is that not a penalty? So
yeah, it just depends.
Yeah, you're never quite sure, what you're going to get, but it's important to get a read on that, as soon as you can, and even just talk to the officials, but in a respectful manner. And I think 9 times out of 10 you'll be able to get an understanding of where they're at.
Eric Cole, you're the best, man. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you at the rink.
Absolutely. Sounds good, bud.
Thanks, man. Eric Cole here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, when we come back, one-timers, and we'll see how famously wrong I can get the next set of one-timer questions, because I think I went over on Friday. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
We have seen historic increases in the case of congenital syphilis, which is a syphilis that happens when mothers who are infected with syphilis pass the infection in uterus during the pregnancy, and the result can be miscarriage or stillbirth. The good news is that congenital syphilis can be prevented if persons who are pregnant get tested and treated for syphilis 30 days before delivery.
Find testing and learn more about syphilis at syphilis.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Having health insurance is important. So, if you or anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check your mail for a renewal form from your state. Complete the form and mail it back right away so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose Medicaid or CHIP, visit healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in a low-cost, quality health plan. Keep your family covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fair housing is more than just a celebration in April. For North Carolina's realtors, it's an everyday standard. For the 56,000 realtors across our state, we embrace and support fair housing to stamp out discrimination in all forms. As realtors, we believe fairness is worth fighting for, and we won't stop until the fight is won. Celebrating Fair Housing Month, North Carolina Realtors. We open doors to everyone. Paid for by North Carolina Realtors.
NC Medicaid is for more people like me.
Adults who don't have children.
People who serve.
People who do the heavy lifting.
Child care teachers.
Full health care coverage at low or no cost.
Doctor's visits, emergency rooms, and prescriptions.
So if you applied before and didn't get it, apply again.
NC Medicaid covers more people than ever before.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
NASCAR stars shine at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The NASCAR All-Star Race, Sunday, May 19th. Get your single-day tickets now and see NASCAR's best battle it out on one of NASCAR's most historic tracks. Country music phenom Warren Ziders rocks the pre-race stage, free with your race ticket. Only North Wilkesboro Speedway can deliver this kind of all-star action and excitement. The NASCAR All-Star Race. Get your single-day tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
This is Adam Gold.
North Carolinians wagered $659,308,541 on sports.
It's a little bit.
Treat it as entertainment only. Just look at it as fun.
The Adam Gold Show.
Congratulations to Tribe Called Quest. At the top, other than Run DMC, at the top of my hip-hop fandom, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2024 inductee. It's an incredible class, wide array of artists.
Yeah.
Everything from Mary J. Blige to Ozzy Osbourne.
Who's still pumping out music.
Incredible stuff. All right, top of the hour, the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Tom Dundon, and that Justin Williams guy.
Yeah, that one.
Mr. Game 7, who hates the nickname.
Hey.
We will not call him Mr. Game 7. He doesn't play anymore, so it can no longer be Mr. Game 7. All right, let's do one-timers. Fire away. I got them all wrong in front.
Well, some of these are just opinions, so you can be.
Well, they're all opinion, but the opinions were wrong.
Well, there is that. Okay, so
we're not keeping score.
with the Canes, what is the biggest adjustment you believe that they need to make tonight so it's a more comfortable win?
All right. Thinking about it, I really thought that the biggest difference between the two teams was that most recently the Islanders have been playing games of meaning. My friend Mike LeBoff from the Action Network, who also does the Islanders Anxiety podcast, who joins me in the pregame to give an Islanders perspective on things, said that the last game that they played, the 82nd game this season, was the first meaningless game that they have played in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because everything, as they get to the end of the season, they're fighting their way in. And they had to do that again. They had to win like 10 of their last 13 games just to get in. So I think there was some element of that helped New York. And Carolina, well, they haven't played meaningless games. The last one was certainly meaningless. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to manufacture reasons to be motivated, the standings and whatnot in terms of home ice advantage. So I think it favored the Islanders in game one. That doesn't mean game two is going to be played any differently, honestly. But Carolina needs a good start, and they need to get to their game, which even when they played well in the third period, I never felt, other than those two shifts, and I keep going back to it, the Anderson save on Dobson, which was incredible, but the next two shifts, Kotkaniemi's line and then Kuznetsov's line, back-to-back, hemmed the Islanders in It created the opportunity for the Nason goal. And from that point, again, I thought it was an even game, but it was more even than Islanders dictated.
Yeah, well, so I know Al brought up this idea, whether it's a good one or not, of switching Freddie out with Kochetkov. Now, if Freddie doesn't, like if they do keep Freddie in, so is it one of those scenarios of how many games would you keep Freddie in for, or would you just stay with him until he stops like standing on his head?
All right, the schedule is going to dictate another goalie, either Game 3 or Game 4. I'm not sure that the goalie, that which game Piotr starts, because I anticipate it will be Anderson tonight. I'm not sure it's not dictated by what happens tonight. If Carolina loses tonight, Freddie plays well, but Carolina loses tonight, I think you'll see Freddie again in Game 3. But if they win tonight, I actually think you'll see Piotr in Game 3 and Freddie in Game 4. That's what I think will happen, but I think it will be dictated by the outcome tonight.
Okay. And this is more of a broad hockey question. So as of right now, because the Canucks decided to actually win that game last night, even though it was not the prettiest of wins either, all the home teams have now won in the playoffs.
What happened?
So far. I know.
Last year was like the road team won every game. I think the Hurricanes were the only home team last year that won the opener of the series.
Right.
It's bananas.
In this first go, all the home teams have come away with dubs. So how many of these series do you think are going to be just flip-flopping back and forth until Game 7 because each team's going to win at their home?
I think there are a couple of series that could end quickly. I think the Rangers series with Washington could end quickly. I think L.A. and Edmonton could end quickly. And the Kings and the Oilers start their series tonight. I think Vegas and Dallas. I think Vegas is just too all over the place with guys coming back. And I think Dallas is too good. Do I think that's going to be a quick series? No, but I think Dallas could win that in 6.
Oh, yeah.
So, look, home ice advantage is a little overrated until it's not. That's a bad answer.
No, it's an answer.
That's a terrible
answer. Well, and this one is probably going to be our last one.
Yeah.
So this is MLB related.
What?
I know.
They're playing?
I know. Yeah, there's what game?
Mets are over 500. How is that even possible?
Look at them go. But how important, because I'm a huge Cubs fan, and this was relevant for me yesterday. Hendricks, you're awful. How big is pitching in MLB?
I mean, there's a slogan, momentum is only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. That answers the question, I think.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary, who in 1987 invented something that you didn't even know that you needed and wanted today. It is the original no closing cost mortgage. Closing cost, whole bunch of fees, bundled together. The banks charge you because they can, and all they're doing is lowering your monthly payment by about $50. Miller Lending, fees, no fees. We'll take care of that. You just keep your thousands of dollars. It's about $5,000. And when the rates come down, you refinance, again, not paying closing costs, and you lower your monthly payment. So why wouldn't you want to save thousands of dollars? MillerLending.com. It'll walk you through the entire process. But know this, if you pay closing costs, you are banking on the rates not dropping for 8 years, because that's the break-even point. Miller Lending. An equal housing lender. NMLS ID 2502146.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Shinecup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
Pulling up to Mickey D's just for drinks? Oh yeah, that's me. Nothing extra, just perfection and a straw. Coming in hot for the coldest cups on the block. Because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
Now get an ice cold lemonade, frozen Coca-Cola, or iced coffee. Any size for just $1.79.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Autobell Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autobell for just $55.
People can tell when you Autobell.
Adam Gold here for my friends at CertaPro Painters, the painting professionals. And let me tell you, that's something that I don't want to do in my own house. My wife likes it. I don't. These people love it. They are the professionals. You can also trust them to get the job done right and safely and quickly. And each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated, which means they live in our community. And you can schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Canes will hand this back for Shea. He'll get it to Natchez. Into the slot, Carolina with an attempt out in front. The shot is deflected. The score! On the power play! Evgeny Kuznetsov wings it out front. And he's got Carolina off to the hot start. Drury will be settled now, looking for a deflection out front. They score! Stephen Nason with the net front bangs it home. And Carolina goes up 2-1.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Thank you very much for hanging out. Stanley Cup playoffs in full swing. And in studio, two legends of the pickleball circuit. The owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Tom Dundon, and Justin Williams, a Hurricanes Hall of Famer. This is very good. You guys look right off the pickleball court. It's very nice. Thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate what you guys are doing. All right, are we all set in there? I think we're all set in there. Did you play pickleball today?
We did.
How'd you do? Did you win?
Come on.
Did Justin played with you, so the answer is yes?
Of course. A lot of people don't know this, but Tom's just because he owns the pickleball circuit, he's a very, very good pickleball
He played
player.
tennis.
Very, very good.
You were a tennis player in college.
No, Tom's pretty no good.
No? It doesn't make it.
He's good with a racket, for sure. That's for sure. He's good with a paddle, too.
So I know Rod Brindamore played in the Pro-Am you guys had a couple of weeks ago when I was in Phoenix for the Final Four. And
humble brag.
Yeah.
A little humble brag there. I was gone because I couldn't make it because I was here.
Exactly. But Rod said that Justin, you're like half a pro already at pickleball.
I'm not, but I have a good time with it for sure. And when Tom comes into town, we either play some golf or play some pickle and wait for the Canes games at night. So
is he better at pickleball or golf?
Pickle.
Really?
I'm terrible.
No. Is he better at pickleball
Really?
or golf?
He's good at both.
I know he's good at both. He just played in a celebrity invitational golf tournament. Talking about humble brag is like, Justin, let's talk Canes, and he sends me a little tweet,
TV.
a text about I'm playing this celebrity invitational golf tournament, which Eric Cole was out there just hung out with you for a day.
He came and played the pro-am, and
okay.
there was a little pickleball exhibition too that they had there also.
Do you have your own
played
racket?
in that as well. No.
A paddle? Is it a racket or a
I can
paddle?
sign a racket and call it my own.
That's fine. That's fine. All right, let's talk a little hockey. Let me ask. Start with the owner here. Business good?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's been pretty good. It's a good year.
It has been a good year. How have you dealt with the fact that at the beginning of the season the team was the favorite, and then as we got back to the playoffs, again the team is the favorite? Does that make you more nervous, or can you even possibly be more nervous than you normally are before any game?
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it like that. It's probably about the same. You're right. There's always a chance you could lose, and that chance is what makes you nervous, right?
Now you know this as well or better than anybody, Justin. It doesn't make a difference how good you are. The first round of the NHL playoffs, Rod said to me the other day that it's the toughest round to win. What do you think about just round one? How do you approach it? Because it really doesn't matter. You could lose.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I disagree or agree with that. Just people expect the first round to be hard, right? It's not that makes any round less hard. It just everybody's usually pretty healthy. But to kind of go back what Tom was saying, are you nervous that you may lose? Yeah, you might lose, but a lot of luck goes into it as well. And the luck part, I mean, being healthy. You can see last year we weren't very healthy. Obviously, we have Jesper Fast out, but that's one guy on our team. And with the depth we have, we're able to overcome that. But being healthy going to the playoffs is such a big tool to have, and such a big benefit for us having our full complement of players.
Is that luck? Is it in a way? Is it
a little
luck?
bit? A little bit, yes. It comes down to it. Absolutely. Obviously, taking care of yourself and stretching and doing preventative stuff is very important.
Right.
But there's the freak accidents that happen. It's hockey. It's a fast sport. Everybody knows that, and you can get hurt when it's not really your fault. So I'm happy with the way we're coming in. I'm happy we won the first game, but I know we have a long way to go.
Oh my gosh, one of 16 wins that you're trying to get. And they're all difficult. Have you suggested to Rod who he should start in goal tonight?
No, he doesn't take suggestions.
He does.
No, there's no suggestion box down there.
Oh, there should be.
Yeah.
So who do you expect to be in goal tonight?
I assume it'll be Freddie.
Right.
I didn't even ask. Do you know?
I didn't ask. I assume it's going to be Freddie.
Right. So,
I don't care who. They're all good.
Right. So I do too. And I talked to him at 5:00 tonight. And the first question I'm going to ask, who is it? I'm not going to say, if he says Piotr, I'm not going to say, are you nuts? Because we know Kochetkov has been so good since December 12th. I mean, the numbers, that's a pretty big sample size since December 12th. He's a top 5 goalie in the league since then. All of the metrics say that, whether he is or not in everybody's mind. All of the metrics say he's a top 5 goalie in the league since then. I won't say that, but I think it's Freddie, based on the way he's played. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Yeah. You have a comment about that?
No, I mean, they've all played very, very well for us. Certainly the last 3 quarters of the season, they played extremely well for us, giving us a chance to win. And we're certainly not at a disadvantage to any team when you start a playoff series.
What'd you think of the save on Noah Dobson in the third period, Tom?
Pretty fortunate. Pretty fortunate.
So, look, we talk about luck. Now, you wear hats a lot with a shamrock on it. Right?
Not on purpose, but
no,
yeah.
But I've seen that, right? I'm sure it's a logo for something, but there was an element of luck in that save. Noah Dobson is an elite offensive player. Had, I think, 60 points in 70 games this year. And I mean, he's got a lot of net. And Freddie kind of paying homage to Kochetkov. I don't need a stick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in you making your own luck. Right. I really am. And it's sometimes people call it luck when the puck just seems to find you, but I call it an innate ability to just be in the right spot, read the play, kind of see where the puck's going before others do. And obviously, Freddie, that was just a acrobatic save. I'm thinking he's going to shoot high. I'm going to do everything I can to keep this puck out of the net, and he did it. And it was a big moment, it was a big game changer, and we're going to need plenty more of those to be successful, win 15 more.
The 2 shifts after that created the Nason goal, right? The Kokaniemi's line comes on the ice after that. They might have been on the ice for that shift, for all I know, but the next part of the next minute was spent in the New York end, and then Kuznetsov's line comes on the ice, and they spend all that time in that end of the ice, and it created the Nason goal. It's funny. I don't think I'll be wrong or will be wrong about the goalie tonight, but man, and I'm going to direct this to you, Tom. I've been wrong about 2 major things this year about this team. In the offseason, I'm like, come on, they're not going into free agency. That's not what they do. And then Michael Bunting and Dmitry Orlov. And then at the trade deadline, when all the stuff about Jake Ensel's hitting, I'm like, people, the Hurricanes don't do rental players. Like, what are we doing? 0 for 2. So I could be wrong. I could be wrong tonight. Walk me through the philosophy about why you thought this was the year to, A, delve into free agency, and because there's no guarantees that Jake will be here next year, and to do something like that at the deadline.
You know, the free agency, as long as we can get shorter-term contracts, we're always in the middle of it. It's just if someone gives a contract that buys years that won't help us give us enough value, then that's why we don't do it. It's not that we're anti-free agency. It's just sometimes at the age that players hit free agency and the amount of term they get, it's hard to make that work with a salary cap. And then on the trade deadline, I mean, look, we were fortunate that we had an extra pick.
Right.
You know, I believe you got to keep your picks, and that's how you find some of the guys we find. And usually when there's rental players, they're not like this guy, right? He's just a little better than most of them. So it's a lot of times you're paying a similar price. We'd rather pay more and get the best than get something pretty good and pay a lot. So I'll pay more than a lot to get the best.
Have you thought about Jake next year?
I don't think Don's talked to them just because it was also rushed and
kind of a difficult time of the year to do it.
Yeah, and we have so many free agents. It's just there'll be time to do that in later.
There's a lot of free agents. You guys are going to have a very busy and not a lot of time to do it based on hopefully playing all the way into the end of June.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the best things for free agents is to just present them what we are, right? And time really, you know, the better we play, the further we play, the more players get to know the area, get to know the players on the team, get to know the coach, the management, everybody in the Hurricanes family. That will give them a better opportunity and give us a better opportunity to re-sign them if potentially there's something to fit. So, you know, when you say you don't want to rush into it, right? You want to give them a good opportunity to see what we have to offer too, and I think it's pretty darn high.
Justin Williams and Tom Dundon are in studio. I probably should have asked this before we started, but give me a time frame for how long you guys want to be here before you want to fly out of here, because I could take a break now, come back and talk to you for another 15 minutes, or I can go a little longer now and then let you go. So you tell me what you want to do.
I'm fine. It's up to you.
Let's go a little longer now because I'm getting kind of hungry. It's past my lunch time.
Past your lunchtime, right after the pickleball.
Yeah, let's run it a little longer.
All right. Well,
that right?
That's fine.
All right.
Sorry to your guy, your
See,
sponsors.
he overruled you.
He did. Everybody does. That's what everybody. Nobody realizes that's actually what happens.
All right. This is a bigger NHL picture. Real quick. I want to get to this. So we already had it. We had an instance with the Hurricanes in Boston a couple of weeks ago, where a goal was disallowed because it wasn't completely across the line. My understanding was the NHL didn't provide a clear enough picture to either bench that said no goal. Goal was given on the ice, no goal. Last night in Colorado, Winnipeg, there was, gong show of a game, but there was a similar situation where they said no goal on the ice, and then overturned it pretty quickly. And I was watching the game on ESPN. They did not provide anything that was clear. What kind of responsibility does the league have in real time to show both benches, here's why, and provide that also to all broadcasts? Because now in the first round of the playoffs, you've got not only the national, but both local broadcasts. If we can get tennis at 135-mile-an-hour serve to determine the ball hit the back of the line in real time with a computer, and everybody knows yes or no, why can't we do that in hockey? I'll start with you.
I think it's coming. I think there's things that are being tested and processes. We have a feed, so our guys have the same feed they have in Toronto. So I don't think it's that big of an issue for the team. But when it comes to the broadcast and the fans, I agree that we could improve it. And then if you put in the right technology, then it'll just make it that much finer of getting it right.
I remember watching that too, and no one really seemed to complain. It was a really quick turnaround. The puck went in, off we go, and there was nothing on TV. There was nothing.
But with the overhead that they have,
yeah.
I don't know if they showed it, but it's clearly in. So
yeah, I saw it after, but during it, I was like, whoa, don't they want to look at this again? But
so quick.
So obviously when it's that quick, it's a goal, and I saw Bednar not really argue, and everyone assumes that they get it
right.
right.
On the TV, they didn't show that overhead view.
No,
they showed the overhead view, but they didn't show, like, they didn't zoom in and show definitively, because at that point the puck was almost on its end, right? And I didn't see a non-fuzzy picture of the Natchez goal that was overturned in Boston.
I think it probably was the right call, but I agree with you between the fact that the paint isn't perfectly cut.
Right.
And the camera quality is not probably where it'll be in the future, that even though I don't think it was a goal, it'd be nice to have it more definitive, and I think you will in time.
So why can't we, I'm also a big soccer watcher, and VAR, even if the angle is not perfect, they can draw lines. They call it drawing lines. And it's just basically, it's a laser line. Why can't we have a laser line right along the back of the goal line that definitively tells us, all right, the puck is in, the puck is not? That just seems logical to me.
I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to say.
Thank you.
I think it's just a matter of time. I think sometime in the future, you're probably right, that happens.
I try not to be unreasonable.
You're ahead of your time. How many people told you that? Have they?
Nobody. You would be the first. Sebastian Aho, you got here and you knew he was going to be the face. You played with him, Justin. How much better is he today than he was 5 years ago?
Well, I didn't know that first year when I was watching.
You told me you did.
No, when I was watching his first year before I bought the team,
okay,
I wasn't sure if he was just a really good player on a bad team, and that's scary, right? Like, he's getting all this because he's getting every opportunity, but if he had better players around him, he wouldn't get those opportunities. So he's definitely better than I initially thought. Now, after the first year, that second year, the first year when they made the playoffs, then you knew, right? But yeah, that first year when you're playing on a bad team and you're a really good player, it's hard to know if you're just getting that opportunity because there's nobody better.
And somebody's got to score goals.
Someone does. All the teams score 2.5 goals a game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sebastian has been such an awesome. It's been really cool to watch his development come from just coming in, being a player, and just slowly, gradually taking the steps that he's taken. Not only on the ice, he's such a leader in the dressing room too, and the way he plays, his demand to be better. And when you see that from your best players, I mean, your best players have to be your best workers. And we have that, right? And that's how you develop the culture, blah, blah, blah. You hear Roddy talk about it all the time, right? So watching him play in practice and watching him play during the game, watching how much he cares, watching how much he has taken on a leadership role on this team, really has been special to watch his development from a young player to a young star in this league. And, eventually, I'm sure one day a captain.
Yeah, if the other captain just doesn't stop playing. Jordan's still. I mean, he's not playing as much time as he was 2 years ago. But when he's on his game, I wouldn't want. Would you want to play? You've played against him. Would you want to play against him?
No, people still. I mean, listen, we try to match lines, and they try to get away from it. Still.
Right.
If they enjoyed playing against Jordan, they would say, "You want Jordan against him? Fine, then just leave him out there." But teams try to get away from that, and that's just a tribute to how he is. And I just saw him this morning, and he looks as trim as ever and ready to go.
Here's the thing, your 1 year as captain took a lot of pressure, I thought, off Jordan. I think he is a better captain now than because he was the captain before, the year before. It was kind of weird. We had two for whatever reason. Just very strange year. But I thought Jordan...
And neither was him. That's even better.
Well, you and Justin and I had a conversation about that. The whole thing was weird. But I think he is more comfortable with who he is as a player and a person. And to me, it's hard to be the captain and an effective one unless you are. And I just think his leadership is just awesome.
I agree. I think it's hard because there's a difference between the most talented or the best player and the most important player.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, obviously we're lucky to have both, I think. So.
All right, let me dig in. We'll spend a couple more minutes. We'll dig in on this series. I'll go to you, Justin, for the hockey part of this. The Islanders are going to play a certain way. I don't know if they actually played that way on Saturday night. I thought Carolina might have been even a little bit more physical than New York. How do you prepare for what the Islanders probably need to bring to get back in the series? Or not to get back, it's only 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think they played well. I think, what teams look at is obviously we had a very good season in terms of special teams, right? So, if they want to run around and do things and try and get us off our game physically or mentally and end up in the penalty box, it's probably not great for them. Our power play has looked really good. It's done it all year. Our penalty has done really well all year too. So obviously they're looking for holes and looking for things that they can fix, but they're going to play hard. I mean, they're going to play extremely hard. It's the playoffs. I mean, these are great players in that team as well. And, I think they give up a little bit more than what they used to give up. But they have talented players who can put the puck in the net as well. So, this is going to be a long series. You got to go into everyone expecting 7, and I know we in our dressing room we expect that, and they're ready for it if they have to go.
Tom, would you take 28 playoff games?
Sure.
All right,
yeah,
that's
sure.
That's the max.
Yeah, that'd be good. I know. I mean, I prefer it not like that. I prefer it at winning quicker because it's.
So you'd like 16?
Yeah, for sure.
Fewer home games though. That's less.
I could care
less. That's less money.
Yeah,
less stress.
Yeah, that's not. I think it gets confusing because we run the business the right way,
right?
But the winning it's not in the same category as the money, right? The money is not.
How do you separate? How does Tom Dundon separate the business of the Carolina Hurricanes and the play of the Carolina Hurricanes?
To me, the business, there's a right and a wrong way to do things. You want to operate, you want to optimize, you have to have, you want to give a good experience, and you have a price for that, and you create value. And I look at how we do, what experience we create for our fans relative to the rest of the league and other sports, and you just want to be the best you can be at that. On the winning side, if we think a player can help, it's just about the cap. It's not about the money.
Right. Well, you've proven. You've been up against the cap, last 4 years. The last time you weren't. You bought
Marlowe.
You
Jarvis.
bought Patrick Marlowe, which leads me to Seth.
It's pretty good, huh?
My gosh, I'll ask you about Seth in a second, Justin. Before we let you go, does Seth does a long-term deal for Seth have to happen this offseason?
If he wants it to. We always want to do long-term deals with young players, so we're always trying to do that. If that's more, can you find the right mix of leaving yourself the flex, making sure the players are compensated for how good they are and what they bring to the team, but leaving enough for the other people because everybody wants to win, right?
Right.
The better you are, the harder it is.
To me, we knew Seth was a better player last year with less production in more games. He had fewer points in more games last year than the year before. But if you watch every game, you can see he was getting better, and he was a better overall player. How do you look at Seth Jarvis year 3?
I mean, development's been great. I mean, you draft these kids in the first round, you expect them to be great right away, right? And I think that's obviously the wrong way to do it, right? Everybody's going to develop at their own time. Everybody's going to, be impactful potentially at a different time. And some people have ceilings and some don't. And obviously Seth is getting opportunities to do a lot of more different things. Play on the first unit power play, play out there with Jordan Stahl on the first unit PK. Like he's playing a lot, but he's earned that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's absolutely earned that. He's first in every corner. He comes up with a lot of pucks, and he's creating a lot of offense for his line mates, and people love playing with him, and I can see why.
His personality. I mean, that's
helps too.
But doesn't that help both ends? It helps the play, and doesn't it help the business for Seth?
I'm sure it does. I don't know how to quantify that, but more than anything, it helps you be proud and feel good about your team when you get to know these people and you realize they're good people and they're fun and the other guys are together. So I don't know how many more fans buy tickets, but I know I appreciate that.
You track jersey sales?
There's somebody.
It's got to be a lot of 24 jersey sales going off the shelves.
I think we've talked about this, and this sounds – there's not enough merchandise you can sell to put a dent in the kind of money that you have to spend on players and all that. But, yes, for me it's not the money on the jersey sales. It's much more about the people who are in that jersey. They're proud of their team. They identify with the player. They care.
Regardless of the economics of that,
yeah,
that's an indication of just what kind of an impact he's got. And I have to, I've already kept you longer than Justin wanted because Justin's hungry.
Starving here.
If I'd have known, we would have had something brought in. The development, how close are you, Tom, to getting not shovels in the ground, but when do you plan to start? What's the first phase? Is there any light you can shed on that the area around the arena?
Yeah, and I think we're like moving to final documents now. So
Okay.
It's just however long that takes, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's been worked on for months, and so it's all the little stuff now. But yeah,
All right.
I think it's close.
All right. I'm rooting for 28 games because it's fun.
Yeah.
And whatever. If you want 16 will be good too. I'm not going to knock 16. I won't get a longer offseason. It'll be the same because the Stanley Cup Final is going to be played.
Won't move, yeah. A couple days.
Rod doesn't like rest. He hates it. All right, Justin Williams, Tom Dundon. I appreciate both of you guys coming in. Huge surprise. Nice to see both of you. And you smell fine.
I do?
Yeah.
Didn't work hard enough.
Thank you.
There you go. On the pickleball court. Tom Dundon, Justin Williams. Maybe I'll see you guys at the arena coming up tonight.
Thanks.
All right.
All right, we'll come right back. We'll talk about what we were talking about before, the puck across the line. It's not that difficult to solve. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Canes are back in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's Game 2.
Stefan Nason with the net front, bangs it home, and Carolina goes up 2-1.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7:30.
Game over! Sebastian Aho wins it in overtime!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
April is here, and if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk to Window Nation right now. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Electricity flows through everything. Our movement, our passion, our drive. Ford connected the performance of a sports car with the thrill of an EV to create a pony tuned for exhilaration engineered to give you an extra jolt of adrenaline. Feel something electric. The 2024 Mustang Mach-E SUV. Test drive one today at your Carolina Ford dealer. Available at Ford EV certified dealers only.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This is Adam Gold.
North Carolinians wagered $659,308,541 on sports.
It's a little bit.
Treat it as entertainment only. Just look at it as fun.
The Adam Gold Show.
Mary J. Blige, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee 2024, top of the hour. Rick French on the Board of Trustees for the Rock Hall. He will join us. We will go through 8 inductees. And our friend from CBS Sports, Matt Norlander, covers college basketball, part of the Ion College Basketball Podcast, tweeted out, he's a big Dave Matthews Band fan, as a lot of us are. Love Dave. He wondered who would present Dave Matthews for the Hall of Fame, and I just responded with Dave Matthews presenting Traffic. I don't know how many years ago this is now. 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Presenting Traffic for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he had like a 4.5-minute intro, and it's just a great story. So do the Google search, Dave Matthews, Traffic, Rock Hall,
There you go.
and laugh when the story is over.
You're welcome.
It is a great story. Anyway, maybe we can get Steve Winwood to induct Dave Matthews Band into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Anyway, we'll talk about that at the top of the hour. So this happened last night, and the NHL playoffs. First of all, start to finish, it is the best of the postseason. Like, they're all good. NBA playoffs are great. The NFL playoffs are great. Major League Baseball playoffs are great. NHL playoffs just hit differently.
It's fantastic.
And yeah, weird. Home teams undefeated so far.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anticipate that staying true through the next couple of days. I am hoping that the Hurricanes will not fall prey to the road team. But we have to go into every game understanding that you can still play well. The Islanders played well and lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
The Hurricanes could play well tonight and lose the game. And that is just, we all sign up for it as hockey fans. We all sign up for it. I think if Carolina plays their game, better chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't eliminate the chance of losing, but a better chance of winning. But 70-30 if Carolina plays their game. If they don't, it might be 70-30 the other way.
Yeah.
But
you never know.
30 is still a chance.
Yeah.
Hurricanes won game one without playing their game. But I'm watching Winnipeg and Colorado last night, and there was a goal that was initially not given on the ice and eventually given. And never once have I disputed whether or not it was a goal. I was just shocked at how fast the NHL ruled. Obviously, they had what they believed is definitive proof of a goal. So they just went, I mean, literally the review took
like 5 seconds.
I was going to say 30 seconds, but it might have been less, right? Like just to take you kind of behind the radio curtain here, there's something called dead air.
Mm-hmm.
And even to somebody who's been doing this as long as I have, dead air for 3 seconds feels like 10 seconds.
An eternity.
Right? So I'm just kind of guessing it took 30 seconds to go to the monitor, get on the the intercom with Toronto, and them to render a decision. Good goal, boom. Ruling right away. And I was just blown away that it was done so quickly. So obviously they had the proof. My whole point, and I went into this a couple of weeks ago when the Hurricanes were in Boston, and Martin Necas' goal was given and then taken away.
Mm-hmm.
In that, if you're going to do that, you've got to show the evidence, show your work. It's so, like, you don't get credit for it in the exam in high school if you don't show your work.
I know we triggered people with that with
Right.
math.
Show your work.
Show your work. Ugh.
And that's all any team, any fan can ask of a league, of the NHL, of Major League Baseball, of the NFL, of the NBA. Show the proof. And we don't get that from the NHL. We just don't get it. Now, people got blown away. Like, are you suggesting? Mike, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm simply saying you have determined definitively, especially when you change the call, you've determined definitively, so show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't difficult for the NHL to present the evidence.
Yeah.
Because they clearly had it to overturn a call. So show everybody. And I go back to these two examples. In tennis, and here in the NHL, we are talking about two linear decisions. This is not judgment. There's nothing judgment about in or out, goal or no goal, and I'll extend it to offside or onside in hockey. Those are linear decisions. It is either good or it's not. So, in tennis, with the serve moving at 135 miles an hour, that catches the last 16th of an inch of the service line, they can determine and show in or out with a computer.
Yeah.
Why can't the NHL do that?
You should be able to do the same thing.
Right. Why can't the NHL do that? And then you could just simply show both benches on their iPads, because they've got iPads there, both benches here. My understanding is that in the game in Boston, where Carolina had the goal taken away, the camera they used, and they panned as far as they could before the image became too fuzzy.
Pixely, yeah.
Right? Pixely gets a better word than fuzzy. That they did as best they could, and that's what they used to determine it. Look, to me, that was blue dress, gold dress.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that photograph?
I do.
It's either a blue dress or a gold dress.
Yanny
Why
or
am I seeing a
Laurel?
blue dress and you're right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing a gold dress? I don't understand. But that was what it was like to me. I insisted that I can't tell.
Yeah.
And there were other people who said, "Oh no, it's on the line." I'm like, "All right, I need your eyes clearly." And I asked the head coach, and he goes, "No, that's the image we saw. I still think it's 50-50." So, regardless, they overturned it. But you have to be able to show your work, and the league doesn't do a good enough job at doing that. And that should be provided to both broadcasts, or in the case right now of the playoffs, we've got in Raleigh 3 broadcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There was local TV for both the Islanders and the Hurricanes. And TNT was there on Saturday. Tonight, local for each, plus ESPN will be in the house. But in some cases, there's 4.
Yeah.
And if you get, and especially since the NHL is providing this evidence, you simply just go, here it is.
Yeah.
And we move on. But it's got to be done in real time. Because if tennis can do it, then hockey can do it. And I'll bring it to another sport that has a goal and that has offside. They can determine, even if the angle is poor. And I make that statement because the camera angle that they use to determine looking down at the goal line isn't on the goal line. It's behind the goal line. So, geometry.
Right.
We have to be able to understand why that can be distorted. It's a very difficult thing to do, but computers, they do it in soccer, you can draw the line. In fact, it happened in the FA Cup yesterday. Anybody who is a Manchester United fan knows that when they drew the lines, it saved your club's ass.
Yeah.
Because they should have lost the game.
Yeah.
But Haji Wright was, I don't know, a little toe offside.
Pinky toe.
That's what it was. Literally, it was.
Wow.
If it was more than an inch offside, I would have been, I'm stunned, right? But they drew the line so they could determine exactly whether he was on or off. You can't tell me they can't do that in the NHL. You can't possibly convince me that they can't do it. How about this? And I mentioned this to Tom Dundon and Justin Williams. And put a laser in the goalpost at the back of the goal line, either side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just put a laser there.
Yeah.
Right?
We have the technology.
If the puck is across that,
we'll
know.
Yeah.
We will know
It'll
if
save
the puck
so much
is across it. It shouldn't be this difficult. It apparently is this difficult. Also, understanding the concept that it's important in real time to present this evidence.
Yes.
For some reason, that escapes people. It shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
We should know in real time, and we should see definitively so we don't have to question. Not that hard.
No.
Apparently it is. All right. We'll stretch. Also, an update on what's going on outside of our little world filled with transfer portal and Hurricanes hockey. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
People who are pregnant, who have syphilis or contract syphilis, can have children with profound health outcomes. Congenital syphilis is 100% preventable. I mean, it's treated by the oldest antibiotic known to man, penicillin. We need to make sure that people have access to testing and people have access to treatment and that we don't delay.
Find testing and learn more about syphilis at syphilis.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the Cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Did you and your family lose North Carolina Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It is playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your home to wager on any game you want. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. Anything you want to wager on, slap shots, home runs, slam dunks, all there. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you make your first $5 wager. Visit FanDuel.com, promo code AGS to get started. I can't make it any easier. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
NASCAR stars shine at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The NASCAR All-Star Race, Sunday, May 19th. Get your single-day tickets now and see NASCAR's best battle it out on one of NASCAR's most historic tracks. Country music phenom Warren Ziders rocks the pre-race stage, free with your race ticket. Only North Wilkesboro Speedway can deliver this kind of all-star action and excitement. The NASCAR All-Star Race. Get your single-day tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
This is Adam Gold.
There are people out there that just, you must draft a quarterback.
Yeah, why you don't want a quarterback?
Yeah, exactly. What is wrong with you? Oh, you don't want apple pie?
Right.
Come on.
A la mode? Oh, maybe I like brownies, okay?
I don't want it there.
The temptation.
Yeah, I don't need it. Because I can convince myself, apple's healthy.
Right.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. We will place bets in a matter of moments. Victoria, I had heard a rumor that it did not go well this weekend.
Day 1 it did, and then I was riding excited on day 2, and Kyle Hendricks showed up.
Who's that? Oh,
That's
Cubs.
the Cubs pitcher that they should have gotten rid of.
Oh, wow. We're feeling that way
8 years
about
ago,
Kyle
yeah.
Hendricks already.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how I did over the weekend. I don't know if it was good or not.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, the Lightning have already fallen behind. Well, I know Chelsea didn't win their FA Cup match. Anyway, we'll add it up later because it doesn't really matter at this point. The ACC and Florida State are in court in Tallahassee.
What?
Yes. Well, actually, there's a hearing today, and it does appear that we probably got a little bit sidetracked from, figuring out the ACC is trying to get it dismissed out of the state of Florida and heard in North Carolina. And obviously, Florida State feels like a hometown judge is to their benefit, and it may be. Ultimately, this will be decided on the merits of the law, even if Florida State gets it heard in the state of Florida, and a favorable ruling from the judge in Florida. It's not a jury trial. It's not criminal. Even if you get both of those, the ACC will obviously appeal, and appeals go up, and ultimately this will be decided on the merits of the case.
Yeah.
And what we're really discussing here is intellectual property. The games are the intellectual property of each individual school. Home games and the grant of rights grants each school's IP rights for their football and basketball, their sports, to the ACC. That's the deal. Florida State did amend their argument, I believe, if I have this read correctly today, to basically say, like Clemson has said, hey, if we leave the league, that ends the association, therefore your grant of rights doesn't exist anymore. But that's probably a pretty specious argument because it says specifically that your rights are granted through the end of the contract, which I guess ESPN could end if they choose not to extend the deal. There's a window, which I believe is at the end of 27, I guess the summer of 27, fiscal year 27. So that window would, if ESPN decided, you know what, we're not going forward anymore, then it would.
Yeah.
And that would be the ending. But ESPN has right to extend all the way to 36. That's what we anticipate doing, but who knows what's going to happen. My guess is that this court will ultimately, the case will ultimately be heard in North Carolina because the deal was signed in North Carolina.
That would make sense.
But Florida law will also be entered into this equation because it has to also follow. The whole thing's weird.
Messy.
But we'll talk about it more later on. But they're in court today, so you're going to read a lot of stuff about we won, nobody won, because the decision of the judge will not be final. So let's stretch.
Man, it sounds like they need to stretch and do some woosahs.
Who?
Florida State, all of them. They need
I
to
don't know what those
relax. They need to relax,
Yes.
yeah. That's probably what Justin's doing right now after pickleballing. He's got to do some
He's eating
stretching.
lunch. I should have asked where they're going. They're going to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, that's always a good choice. Well, I know you mentioned that we're going to talk more about this with your friend Rick, but yes, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2024 inductees are happening. And there's also some extra stuff. I know he'll probably go over who those people are, but Jimmy Buffett and Diane Warwick are being recognized for musical excellence.
Yes.
And there's also some other things too, but we'll basically talk about Mary J. Blige. Cher was in there, Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner, Kool and the Gang. So yeah, all the bump music is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. And if you want to watch this, it's going to take place October 19th in Cleveland, Ohio. You can stream this on Disney Plus. I felt like that's a little random. But it's also going to be available the next day on Hulu if you want to stream it that way. And I think there's also a special broadcast on ABC on a later date. So if that's important to you, then that's when it's happening.
Those are always great shows, by the way.
Yeah, in October. So we have some time to prepare for it. Now, one thing I don't know if some people were prepared for, Taylor Swift's new album is breaking all the things because it is busting out in a big way. This album has sold 1.6 million copies in the single day. Like, in a single day.
Wait, 1.6 million?
Copies in a single day. And this includes albums. This includes vinyl because there were 600,000 of them were all vinyl because they're making different variants.
Wow.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tay ain't dumb. She's not dumb. She is making all kinds of ways to make money.
She is a business woman.
Yes, she absolutely is. Artist and businesswoman. Post Malone, who is also a collaborator with this, they have a song on there called Fortnite, and he said, quote, he was floored and beyond honored to be on this track, so you should check that out if you have not listened to it.
Was there a diss track? Did we have a diss track?
There is.
Okay.
And that was going to be my next thing. So
was it to all NFL fans who hated the fact that she was such a big part of the league this year?
That she doesn't know football.
That's what I would have written a diss track about.
No, it's actually about Kim Kardashian. Yes.
Okay.
They have beef, her and Kanye, because, back in the day, Kanye stealing the mic and whatnot. So, yeah, that's still going on. One of her songs called Thank You, Amy is the Kim Kardashian diss track. And how it is spelled, everything's lowercase except for the K-I-M. And Thank You, Amy.
Oh, look at that.
So, she's very creative. So
I like it.
So there,
good.
And there's some lyrics and stuff in there too. But yeah, you should just go check that out in case you're curious about said diss track. So there you go. But can't diss some of these bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
Let's have it.
Yeah, from Friday, the only one I had was Artemi Panarin. So that was it. But I tried to have Sebastian Aho as an anytime goal scorer. Maybe we can do this tonight. Aho, game 2. Give me Aho, anytime goal scorer. Our Aho. Let me just, Sebastian. Plus 175.
Okay. Well, the other Sebastian was not in the lineup, and I think will be probably not necessarily be in the lineup, barring injury, in this series. All right, let's just do a 3-way Hurricanes parlay.
Nice.
We'll go, we're not picking a winner here necessarily.
Okay.
Over 5.5 goals.
It's
Jake
likely.
Gensel, anytime goal scorer.
Likely.
Second period, highest goal total, plus 12.20.
Whoa.
Tonight. Yeah.
Why not?
Probably not going to happen, but why not? Exactly.
I like those odds. So
Exactly. There we go. You want to squeeze another one in here or no?
Sure, why not? Mark Stone. They're taking on Dallas Stars and Golden Knights. Anytime goal scorer. He's plus 300.
Well, because
I
first
get
game
it.
back. He's been out for how long? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame talk next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you are tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics, using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Sheencup. Dr. Sheencup is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about some exciting options. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. 919-400-5473. With locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my
What should I order face? Don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, and now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
Nothing beats a Fairway Green lawn. Here's Kevin from Fairway Green. Time to get busy, right?
Yes, it's nice. We're starting to warm up, and time is running out to get that first application of pre-emergent crabgrass control down before that crabgrass starts to germinate. Both warm and cool season grasses need attention this time of the year. You want to make sure you're using the right products on your lawn this time of the year.
Nothing beats a Fairway Green lawn. Put them to work on yours now. Go to fairwaygreen.com to request a free online estimate or call 919-329-0095.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Autobell Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autobell for just $55.
People can tell when you Autobell. Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Protect your heating and cooling system like my offensive line protects me. I'm Drake May, quarterback at UNC. Mitchell Heating and Cooling has been committed to your comfort for 50 years and counting. Call Mitchell Heating and Cooling today.
Contact us now at mitchellhvac.com or 919-556-5069. Train. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
We gotta be better. That was unacceptable for us. And be honest, I'm not a fan of the celebrating this stuff like after one win or whatever. I gotta make sure that we keep it emotions pretty even because it's gonna be long series and it's gonna be a lot of tough moments. So we gotta make sure we control the emotions and energy.
Never in my Hurricanes, I say this next word facetiously, insider career, have I been happier that the arena got the 3 stars of the game wrong. Frederick Anderson was the reason the Hurricanes won. He was the first star. Now, I had Yevgeny Kuznetsov as the second star. He was named the first star in the building. Power play goal made it 1-0. Assist on the Steph Nason goal that made it 2-1. He was otherwise very good. But the reason I was happy that the building got it wrong was because in that interview, which I don't think we would have gotten from Frederick Anderson, that's not a criticism. I just don't think Freddie is pretty bland when it comes to conversations. Kuznetsov showed you 2 things. One, as a team, they all knew. They all knew they didn't play great. They all knew they got away with it. He was willing to say it. And it also showed you the I am locked in right now. You get that from Kuznetsov, you're going to get production. He was the leading scorer for Washington when they won the Cup in 18. A lot of good came out of the building getting the 3 stars wrong. And that happened on Saturday night. And hopefully they'll get it wrong with Hurricanes again coming up tonight after Game 2. Again, you can always lose a game. All right, so yesterday I saw, and this might have come out earlier, but I just saw it yesterday, immediately grabbed my phone. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has their 8, I was going to say member, but artist class. And Rick French is not only a friend, is a board member, a board of trustees member of the Rock Hall, and he joins us like he did last year and the year before and the year before that. I think the last time we talked about Dolly Parton, right?
We did, Adam. Hey, thanks for having me. And thanks, by the way, for having Tom and Justin be my warm-up act. I love it.
It's been pretty good. It's been a heck of a show. So Eric Cole earlier, like my phone works. It works well. It stores phone numbers well. So, by the way, did you happen to check out Dolly's Rockstar album?
I did. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I dug it. People are like, why are you listening to Dolly Parton sing, I don't know, whatever songs she was, just incredible stuff. All right, let's get to this class, which strikes me as, and I can't really compare it, but it's hard to imagine a more diverse from one end of the spectrum to the other. I mean, maybe if you had a bluegrass artist in this, because, from Mary J. Blige to Ozzy Osbourne, Kool and the Gang, Cher in the Rock Hall, it is an incredible class.
It really is. And, to your point, we have been really making a strong effort to strive for diversity and to honor all of the roots of rock and roll and contemporary music. And so, even when you get into the Musical Influence Award with the Alexis Corners and John Mayles and so on of the world, we're reaching all corners of the music universe and assembling this class. And I think that's the right way to look at it. I think a lot of our fans look at rock and roll through the prism in which they grew up with it and an era, but it is a big tent and there's a lot of influences. And I think this year's class kind of touches all of them.
Rick French, Board of Trustees, member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So let me just get into just a couple of the artists, and I'm going to start with Dave Matthews. Dave Matthews Band goes in, and the reason I know I found out about the class is because a buddy of mine who covers basketball tweets out Dave Matthews going in, who will induct him. I don't know how that process worked or works, but I saw, and I've watched it actually last night because it was so good, Dave induct or present Traffic for the Rock Hall of Fame, and that was one of the great introductions. That Tom Morello inducting Kiss or presenting Kiss, and I'm not even a Kiss fan, however many years ago that was probably the best speech I've ever seen at one of those settings. But I love Dave Matthews' story that he told. Can we get Steve Winwood to present Dave Matthews?
You never know. I'll tell you how we do it. We go to the artists and we ask them who they would like to induct them. And they give us some names and we reach out. And obviously the people that they choose are ones that are meaningful to them, that they were either influenced by, they may have a close friendship. I could see, and I don't know, we haven't gotten that far yet, but I could see a scenario with everything that Dave Matthews has been involved with Farm Aid, with Willie Nelson and Neil Young and all of that it could be somebody, John Mellencamp, somebody from that universe. But then again, he also influenced, a generation really of acoustic-driven singer-songwriters. So I'll give you a John Mayer, a Jason Mraz, guys like that. So, I could also see it coming from that camp. But either way, that's going to be a fan favorite. There was outcry after Dave was put on the ballot a few years ago, and he didn't get voted in. And sometimes that just happens. It's the way that the votes break. But I think it'll be a real celebration in Cleveland this year with Dave Matthews and his brothers getting in there.
It's just incredible stuff. Cool in the Gang. I mean, this just speaks to my youth. Cool in the Gang, Tribe Called Quest, Mary J. Blige, as you get like an R&B and a rap feel. How much pushback did you get when we started getting into rap and stuff like that in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
It was one of two camps. It was either people applauded it for recognizing that rock and roll is an ever-evolving art form, or we got pushback, and a lot of it, that people said that's not rock and roll through their prism. And so, as an institution, our job is not to lean into somebody else's definition. It's to realize that there would be no rock and roll if there wasn't, you could go back. I mean, we can go all the way back to African beat music, but you can go through, gospel and soul and country and many other blues, many other art forms that fused into rock and roll. And so today's rock and roll is changing as well. So when we got into those categories, we did get pushback, but that was not going to be a deterrence to honoring the musicians that keep evolving that definition. And I think that's the right way to do it. And I think, to your point, Cool in the Gang, I was really excited when I saw them on the ballot this year, and I certainly voted for them. And they're one of the most sampled, normally I don't close my ballot. They're one of the most sampled artists out there. And, there's a lot of people who start singing along to Cool in the Gang songs that aren't even sure who sang the song. They just know it's ubiquitous in their life. And so, the combination of artists that we put in this year, as you said, is going to make for a really, really fun and diverse show in terms of the musical styles. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but it's funny how much of these this particular year, how much of them are part of like my favorites. Apple gives me an Adam Gold channel, like frequently listened to artists, and there's like 5 of them. Matthews, Cool in the Gang, three of them, I guess, because I'm not a real heavy metal guy, but it struck me as odd that Ozzy Osbourne wasn't in already.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, he's in with Black Sabbath, but he wasn't in as a solo artist, and I was surprised it took us that long. But he'd been on the ballot before, so it wasn't his first time, and surprisingly, he didn't get in, kind of like Dave Matthews. And sometimes that happens. It's a byproduct of how a ballot is constructed in a year, and if you've got some absolute no-brainers, that can affect kind of the down ballot of votes. And so sometimes the careful construction of the ballot can ensure a better opportunity for certain artists. And I think Ozzy in this year was an absolute lock when we put him on the ballot. But I think his inclusion is going to make for a really fun show. And we have it's going to be interesting because you have an artist like Cher, who I think all agree should have been in a long time ago. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. And she's become a little bitter about it and saying that she doesn't want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, almost like Dolly did. But then once I think the gravity of the pending induction hits them, a lot of the artists, kind of realize that this is a pretty big deal for them and they come around. So it'll be interesting to see how Cher approaches this. As the ballot was constructed this year, we had 2 of those where we had an Oasis who did not get voted in and a Cher who both kind of publicly stated that they did not want to be in. And of course, Oasis didn't get in. And I think their comments probably didn't help them, because if you're going to disrespect the institution, then the voters are going to say, well, why do we want to put you in? But in Cher's case, I think she's been overlooked for so long and she's such a cultural icon that regardless of her comments, we were going to put her in. So it's going to be fun for sure.
All right, two final questions real quick for Rick French. Board of Trustees, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The class was announced recently, 2024. 8 different artists are in. Of the 8 who are going in, which of them do you listen to the most?
Oh, boy. Okay, I got to think about this for a second.
I mean, for me, the answer is Tribe.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So mine's not Tribe, but boy, were they influential.
My gosh.
And we've continued to try to put them in time and time again, and I'm glad they finally broke through. I would say for me, of the 8 in the performing category, I grew up in that era with Foreigner, Stick, REO Speedwagon, all of that. You know, Foreigner broke records when its first, I think, 6 singles all went to the top of the charts, which nobody had since the Beatles. So they're one, and I've seen him many times. The other is a dear friend of mine, Peter Frampton.
Okay.
And he and I have known each other a long time. He's an ambassador for the Buddy Holly Educational Foundation, which I chair the board of directors of. And Peter has been overlooked for so long. I mean, when you consider he's one of the great guitarists of all time, his work with Humble Pie, and on Frampton Comes Alive alone, he should have been in a long time ago. So I'm extraordinarily excited to see those 2 go in, and I would say those 2 are probably who I listen to the most in there, but I would also say that Kool and the Gang was right there.
Oh my, that's second for me. As much as I love Dave Matthews, and I've seen him so many times, Tribe and Kool and the Gang, that like Sam Cooke and Otis Redding, I go into those different phases of what I'm listening to when I'm not listening to Steely Dan. And my other question is, do you think we'll ever get Frank Sinatra into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Wow, it's an interesting question. That's a great question. I've never thought about that. It almost seems like, how is he not?
Yeah.
If you're going to create this big definition of rock and roll,
he covered Yesterday.
He did, and it did. Look, rock and roll. I mean, rock and roll has evolved so much that somebody like Sinatra, as an early influencer at a minimum, had, and I'll explain that if you give me a second too, because I think it's really important here in this conversation. He's somebody that we could just bypass the voters. Not that I think that he wouldn't be voted in if he was put on the ballot, but be given a musical excellence award to get in. And we created that category because, to be honest, sometimes we can't control, obviously, the way the vote breaks, but we know that there are artists that absolutely deserve to get in. But because of their era, or because they aren't traditionally defined in people's minds as rock and roll, we sometimes, if we put them on the ballot or have put them on the ballot, they haven't gotten in. And if you look at it, Jimmy Buffett is an example of that. Dionne Warwick is an example of that. And, it didn't matter how many times we put the MC5 on the ballot over and over, we could never get them in. And so we created this musical excellence so that we could kind of, I hate to say it, bypass the stupidity of the voters.
Right.
but I say it in the nicest way, because sometimes we construct a ballot that's so heavy that those that come in 10th in the voting should, on face value, be absolute locks to get in, but you just can't put everybody in. So we created this category so that we could make the decisions ourselves with a board of artists and other inductees about who should go in. Dionne Warwick's a great example. We put her on the ballot previously, and she didn't get in, but she's an icon.
Yeah.
And
she's doing those silly commercials that are knockoff of We Are the World right now.
Oh, I know.
It's just she's everywhere.
and on your album, we opened it with Dolly. She did the duet with Dolly on that album, which was really a lot of fun. And heck, she's also the queen of Twitter. So
I did not know that. I have to follow Dionne Warwick now. All right, we got to get Sinatra in. I have to run. Rick French from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Board of Trustees. I appreciate your time, my friend. Let's get Blue Eyes in the Hall of Fame.
I'll do what I can, buddy.
Thank you very much. Rick French here on the Adam Gold Show. It is an incredible show. Every year, watch it. We're going to talk Panthers football with Darren Gant as we are just 4 days away from the first round, 5 days away from the Panthers being on the clock. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Canes fans, game on.
Let's go, Canes!
Let's go, Canes!
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let's go, Hurricanes!
Go, Canes!
Let's go, Canes!
Gets it with a second try. Swim against it. They score!
Rebound score, Seth Jarvis.
What a save by Anderson!
Ride with us for every heart-stopping game. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete DeRuta, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. He is the retirement planning specialist, guru, maven, whatever you want to call him. He has a game plan tailor-made for your retirement. You just don't know it yet. Now all you have to do is get to him, and you can call 888-843-0013 or text my name, Adam, to 600-700, and we're going to unlock a whole bunch of free stuff for you. Here's one thing he can do for you. This sounds very football-y. Advance and protect. I think you want to do that with any good offensive line. Just like that football team in Charlotte needs a good offensive line. Advance and protect. You'd have to ask him about it. Coach Pete DeRuta has all sorts of strategies for your financial planning in retirement. 888-843-0013. This total customized retirement game plan for you, free of charge, if you call that number today or text Adam to 600-700. Yes, a $1,000 value. Text Adam to 600-700 for financial freedom in retirement with Coach Pete DeRuta.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
To tell you that Keno picks 20 winning numbers, we wrote a winning number of our own. Hit it, boys. You pick up to 10. Keno picks 20. It's easy to play for a whole lot of money. Winning numbers are everywhere with Keno from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win a prize range from 1 in 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Major International Soccer is coming to Raleigh this summer. Don't miss the current English Premier League champions Manchester City versus the current Scottish Premier League champions Celtic FC, playing July 23rd at Keenan Stadium at the University of North Carolina. This is going to be the event of the summer and your chance to watch some great soccer from 2 of the biggest teams in the world. Tickets are on sale now. Go to fcseries.com to purchase. July 23rd, Manchester City versus Celtic at Keenan Stadium. fcseries.com for tickets.
April is here, and if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk to Window Nation right now. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
This is Adam Gold.
I got news for you. If I see a hammerhead shark swimming near me in open water,
nope,
we're gone.
Bye.
We're done. I'll be on the dock.
I'm done. I've seen Jaws. You can't fool me.
Yeah, I'll be on the dock.
Yeah.
I'll be, or in the boat or something. I will not be.
Yeah.
I will not be in open water.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Thank you very much for spending some time with us. Cool in the Gang, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thanks to Rick French. Went a little bit longer than I anticipated. I'm just baffled that Sinatra's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because it's clear that we're bringing in other genres, and we should. It's not not everybody in the Rock Hall is a rock and roll musician. Right? Or rock and roll artists.
Out of my playlists.
Exactly. Yeah.
However, I do love all of those artists, too. So
I don't generally delve into your playlist very often.
But you'd be interested, I'm sure.
Just a little too aggressive for me. I'm much more mellow. But I love Sinatra. And but he's not in the Rock Hall because technically, I guess, not rock and roll. He's a crooner. Darren Gant, Panthers.com, asked the old guy also. He's kind of a crooner to me. And he joins us as we are 4 days away from day one of the NFL draft. Panthers get involved in day two, unless. So, hi, Darren. How are you?
I am well, and ha pesach sameach to you, my friend. Hopefully everybody's having a fine holiday. While we're on Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's a good thing they don't let me be a selector for that one.
Right.
Cher?
What's wrong with Cher?
Is anyone less rock and roll than Cher?
Dolly Parton's in.
Dolly Parton should be in. Nobody's more rock and roll than Dolly Parton.
I can't even. I can't. But did you listen to Dolly Parton's? Did you listen to Dolly Parton's Rockstar? I did all the way through.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love Dolly. Dolly is an American treasure and must be protected at all costs. But Cher, really?
I don't know,
we couldn't
man.
have found a spot for Sinead O'Connor or somebody else by making Cher wait. Plus, Cher's pulling the TO thing now. She's doing this whole, I wouldn't go now even if they invited me.
She'll go.
Yeah, she'll be there.
She'll
no
go.
questions asked.
She'll go. Look,
no questions.
Cher's not necessarily my cup of tea, but she's got a place. Look, I'm not an Ozzy Osbourne guy, but I recognize that Ozzy Osbourne has a place in the Rock Hall of Fame. So
yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Well, I mean, he's already in as a member of Black Sabbath,
right?
But,
but he's got a lot of his own stuff that stands on its own. All right, let me
just like we say in football, you can't write the history of rock and roll without Ozzy Osbourne. There you go.
There you go. All right, let's get.
You could write it without Cher, but I guess you didn't call to talk to me about Cher and Ozzy Osbourne, did you?
It's entirely fine, Darren. And for people who don't know, the holiday, Passover, right? So why is this conversation, Darren, different from all other conversations? As I try to worm my way into some Passover humor.
There you go.
It's sort of like Passover food. There's no good Passover food. A veteran of Seder's going all the way back till I was like 4. Sorry. Don't lie to yourselves.
I was sitting with Sindek watching State's Final Four run, and I said, "Why so bitter, Herb?"
That is quality Passover humor. Oh my gosh, people. I apologize.
Where were we?
I think I was going to ask you, the Panthers don't have a pick in the first round. Would you be completely shocked if they package those 2 early seconds to get into it?
Yeah, I kind of would at this point. I just think that when you look at the positions where they need the help, that kind of syncs up with a couple of spots where there is some depth. And I think more than anything else, Dan Morgan knows that this is not a one-year job. I think he is – they got into business of chasing things, really going back to trading for Sam Darnold in 21, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yes.
And even going back to then, trading a 2, a 4, and a 6 for Sam Darnold kind of put him on a bad path. And we saw this back in the early Marty Hurney days. Once you get in that get in that flow of trading future stuff for right now stuff, you get behind and you start chasing it. And I just think Dan Morgan doesn't want to chase it anymore. He doesn't want to give up premium picks. And by premium picks, I basically mean in the first 3 rounds. You don't want to give away those picks for stuff that may or may not help you in the future. So I just think he's going to lean a little conservative with those assets. And if you can sit at 33 and 39 and come out of that with a receiver who could end up starting, a cornerback, a pass rusher who could end up starting, I think you do that instead.
So I've been messing around. I keep telling this to people. I'm addicted to the ESPN.com. We're talking with Darren Gant, Panthers.com. ESPN has a mock draft simulator, and I have been obsessed with this. I can't even tell you how many times I've done it, just as we were in the commercial break.
The only thing worse than that one is the Pro Football Network and the Pro Football Focus versions of it that allow you to make trades. I was goofing around with this one night, and I ended up trading down and trading down and trading down. I didn't pick till 65, but I ended up with a first, 4 seconds, and 3/3 in next year's draft.
That's good.
It's great. It's also when it's time to call last call and send yourself to bed. So those things are addictive, and that's on purpose.
So they are addictive, and I've had so much fun. I have not traded anything for futures because I wanted to use these picks in my own little game. But I would support, because there were a lot of people who think that the Panthers might make that 33rd pick, first in the second round, might make that available. I think the only way I would trade it is if I knew I was getting 2 day 2 picks in return, and I don't want them to be, really any further back than where the Panthers pick at 65, or if I knew I could get an additional first next year. The only way I would move out of 33.
Right, and that's not how that works. I mean, so I went back and looked it up. Since the year 2000, since the year 2000, the 33rd pick has been traded a grand total of 3 times. The biggest return has been an extra third rounder next year. In addition to moving back a couple of spots. And you basically get an extra third rounder next year. And to me, that's not worth it, because I think there's going to be somebody sitting there at 33 when they get through Thursday night. There's going to be a pretty good idea, I think, in Dan Morgan's head of, we're a lot better team with this guy on the roster. So I don't know what Dan's going to do. He may end up trading, but to me, unless the cost is astronomical, unless there's a quarterback that causes somebody to get desperate and overpay for the privilege, I would sit tight and just take a guy who you believe is going to help your team.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And if I was going to trade either of those, I would trade 39 to go back. But using your research, and I appreciate that, the trade that I offered in my mock draft simulator to Arizona, they would never accept, which was 2 picks early in the 3rd round that the Panthers could get. But if you're saying that's not going to happen, then it doesn't really matter. Other than, I think we agree that wide receiver is probably still the position of greatest need.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, Deontay Johnson's 1 year as a Carolina Panther potentially, and 34-year-old Adam Thielen being the top of the depth chart makes you think that's a draft priority. There you go. This is why we listen to you and respect you so much.
Thank you so much. But I thought it was a huge priority last year. They didn't do a great job of addressing it. So, do you think they'll certainly use one of those 2 picks, 33 or 39, on a wide receiver? Do you think they could use both?
I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. I mean, for instance, if you believe Xavier Legette, who's out there telling the world that the Panthers have already told him they're going to take him. And by the way, tune in to Panthers.com later this week for a very similar story that didn't exactly work out that way. We got some good stuff coming your way. Stay tuned.
Always.
Yeah, I think there is a situation. I mean, the need is such that if you use 33 and 39 on wide receivers, I don't think anybody's going to really throw rocks at you. Now, you still need another cornerback who
Right.
can play. You still need a pass rusher. You could use a backup center. You could use, there's all kind of stuff. But here's the thing about the spot the Carolina Panthers are in. Obviously, receiver is an acute need. Most other places on the roster are places where it's like, okay, if 39 happened to be a fill in the blank, I could see that. If it's an inside linebacker, say for instance, Edgerrin Cooper is still sitting there at 39, and you really love him. Well, Josie Jewell, and Shaq Thompson's in the last year of his contract. Do you need one of those next year? You probably do. You could justify things like that. Austin Corbett's 29 and going into the final year of his contract. So if it's a center, you could justify doing that. I think you could do that with a lot of positions: pass rusher, corner, safety, inside linebacker, center, tight end.
Yes.
If the right guy is available at 39.65, I think you can absolutely justify going in a number of directions. So I think that's why Dan's trying to be covetous over his resources and not trade multiple picks for one other pick. I mean, I just think he sees this as a place where he can add 2 or 3 contributors this year, and all of the this year contributors will also be able to be contributors in years 2, 3, and 4 down the line when they don't have all that many of those. I mean, they've still just got like 26 guys under contract through 2025 or beyond. So this is still very much a draft for the future, and I think you need to treat it as such.
I could not agree more. Wide receiver, center. I still think defensive tackle is an area of need for them. Somebody to maybe pair with Derek Brown over the next 4 or 5 years. I don't know if they're going to – it depends on who would be there, but if somebody that maybe had a first-round grade on their board is there at 33 or 39, I wouldn't be shocked to see them go defensive tackle in the second round as well. But tight end is another position. Tommy Trimble is – I mean, he's good, but
and again, I keep going back to what's the roster look like in 2025? You know how many tight ends they've got under contract for 2025?
Zero
is the answer. So, when you look at it from that standpoint, everything is a long-term calculation. So I think you can justify a lot of different stuff. Now, I do think Tommy Trimble's a guy. Here's another piece of research I did. The last time Dave Canales called plays for a NFL offense was, last year in Tampa. You know how many tight ends caught more than 5 passes for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year? 1.
Really?
So, yeah, Cade Otton caught 47 of the 55 passes caught by all Buccaneers tight ends last year. So I think while it's a need, Dave has at least shown you some evidence that it's not such an acute need that Tommy Trimble and friends couldn't probably fill in and do a decent enough job of it this year. I also think we've been waiting for the Tommy Trimble breakout for a minute. He had 3 touchdowns last year in a very broken offense. Could I see Tommy Trimble catching 40 balls and 4 or 5 touchdowns this year? That's reasonable. I could see that, absolutely.
Okay. That would certainly be good, and something that Bryce Young would like to see. Certainly, he would theoretically be throwing them to Bryce Young. And we'll close on this with Darren Gant, Panthers.com. Ask the old guy. He's got great stuff coming out. He always has great stuff coming out. That's redundant for all the things that we talk about. Adam Thielen was on Unsportsmanlike, ESPN's morning show, and is still in very positive mode about Bryce Young, as we are here. What are your thoughts on year 2 of Bryce Young, and how easily everybody forgot or ignored all of the obstacles that were in front of him in year 1?
Yeah, I am willing to consider. I've always told people, ask me in November how Bryce Young's going to turn out, because everything last year was broken around him, and it would have been impossible for any quarterback. People always say, well, C.J. Stroud. If C.J. Stroud was here last year with the mess that last year turned into, it wouldn't have looked all that much better. I don't think, if at all, better. I mean, I just think that the systemic brokenness of last year's offense made it impossible for anybody. And you know what? Speaking of teases, we've got more from Bryce on this very subject. Stay tuned to Panthers.com for the latest on that. And he's just – I think he's got an opportunity this year. I mean, it really is clean slate. I mean, nothing that happened last year should count against anyone. So start fresh. He knows there are things he's got to get better at. He knows there are things he's got to improve, but he also is aware that things got to improve around him. And that's coaching, that's play calling, and that's personnel. So I think they've taken some pretty significant steps. I mean, Deontay Johnson is one receiver of the several they need, but when Bryce gets down behind Austin Corbett and takes a snap tomorrow in a minicamp practice, and he's got Robert Hunt on one side and Damian Lewis on the other, I mean, man, that's about 950 pounds on the roster, and it's probably over half a ton on the hoof, if we're being honest with ourselves. And that's going to make a significant difference for a guy who got sacked 62 times last year.
He just, people have completely ignored, and this is no disrespect to anybody, it just didn't work out. The coaching dysfunction, the fact that there were no weapons to throw to, that the running game didn't get established until well later in the season. The offensive line, how many times have you written about the number of players who had to play?
Many times.
It was impossible. He would have had to have been a savant to have been able to be effective through all of that. Darren Gant, enjoy the draft. I think this will be a fun day too, because there are so many possibilities, and I appreciate your time as always. Darren Gant with 2 T's for extra talent. Enjoy your Herosis.
I always do. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon, Adam.
All right, man. Take care. Darren Gant, Panthers.com. All right, when we come back, more on what I think is the easiest decision that could possibly be made tonight for the Canes and the Islanders. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
People who are pregnant who have syphilis or contract syphilis can have children with profound health outcomes. Congenital syphilis is 100% preventable. I mean, it's treated by the oldest antibiotic known to man, penicillin. We need to make sure that people have access to testing and people have access to treatment and that we don't delay.
Find testing and learn more about syphilis at syphilis.nc.gov.
Fair housing is more than just a celebration in April. For North Carolina's realtors, it's an everyday standard. For the 56,000 realtors across our state, we embrace and support fair housing to stamp out discrimination in all forms. As realtors, we believe fairness is worth fighting for, and we won't stop until the fight is won. Celebrating Fair Housing Month, North Carolina Realtors. We open doors to everyone. Paid for by North Carolina Realtors.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the Cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Having health insurance is important. So, if you or anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check your mail for a renewal form from your state. Complete the form, and mail it back right away so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose Medicaid or CHIP, visit healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in a low-cost, quality health plan. Keep your family covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
NASCAR stars shine at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The NASCAR All-Star Race, Sunday, May 19th. Get your single-day tickets now and see NASCAR's best battle it out on one of NASCAR's most historic tracks. Country music phenom Warren Ziders rocks the pre-race stage, free with your race ticket. Only North Wilkesboro Speedway can deliver this kind of all-star action and excitement. The NASCAR All-Star Race. Get your single-day tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
This is Adam Gold.
North Carolinians wagered $659,308,541 on sports.
It's a little bit.
Treat it as entertainment only. Just look at it as fun.
The Adam Gold Show.
Foreigner, part of the 8-artist Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2024. You didn't play any Cher. Darren Gant was not a fan of Cher.
Not a fan of that idea.
Into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he feels some type of way about Cher.
There are people who love them some Cher, though.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yes.
Far be it from me to stand in
so many impersonators, too, of it. So many.
Their way. But look, she's whether she's Rock Hall worthy, not my thing, but there are.
She's had a great career, though. Either way, she's
still going on.
Yeah, exactly. I know Kelly Clarkson was like goo goo gaga over her latest song here, like a Christmas song, I think it was. She was going crazy over it. She was like, "This is the best thing ever."
Kelly Clarkson is a phenomenon.
Oh yeah,
an absolute phenomenon. All right, let me just get into this real quick. Then we're gonna do a rewind. I'm not saying the decision is easy, except I'm saying the decision is easy. I will talk to the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore, at about, I'm going to guess, 5 minutes after 5. Hurricanes and the Islanders, Game 2, Eastern Conference quarterfinal series, 7:30, 7:37, 7:38, maybe 7:40, opening faceoff. Haven't seen the exact sheet yet. We go on the air with the pregame show if you're local to Raleigh or if you want to find it at 6:30. I will talk to Rod at 5 minutes after 5. First question I am going to ask, who's it going to be in goal? I'm sure he's going to say Frederick Anderson. I don't know this. I'm just saying
it's a hunch.
I'm sure he's going to say it. Freddie Anderson. If he says Pyotr Kochetkov, I am not going to go, have you lost your mind?
Right.
Because Kochetkov has been great. And the Hurricanes have alternated. Since Anderson's return, they have alternated in goal every other game. It's Freddie here, then it's Pyotr. Then it's Freddie, there's Pyotr. And there have been some back-to-backs, which they were always going to rotate. And there have been opportunities for Rod to double up on Freddie starts, a Saturday and a Monday or whatever it is. And he has not done it. But in his answer to the question about did you consider Freddie, he has always leaned on essentially we are trying to keep everybody healthy.
Mm-hmm.
The time to worry about Frederick Anderson's health / stamina, I think, ended a week ago tomorrow.
Okay.
When the Hurricanes closed the season out in Columbus.
Yeah.
We're done.
Mm-hmm.
The regular season is over. The playoffs are the playoffs. It's no longer about trying to keep Freddie healthy. You have to win 16 games. And again, I want to make it clear, if Kochetkov starts, he will have earned the right to start. He's been that good. But Rod Brindamore's history is that when we get to the playoffs, the alternating goaltenders stops. I have a goalie that is going to be our one, and only injury or maybe the schedule or poor play is going to make me change my mind. He did that with Pyotr Kochetkov, rather with Alex Nedeljkovic during the crazy pandemic central. He did it with Mrazek in year 1 and year 2 of the playoffs, only deviating due to injury or the schedule. He did it with Antti Ranta in Freddie and Ranta's first year here. You know, it would have been Freddie, but Freddie was hurt. Ranta was the guy. Kochetkov, by the way, featured a little bit in that series. Came in relief in Game 2. Remember the game against Boston here where David Pastrnak hit Ranta in the mask? Kind of intentional.
Yep.
Kind of to intimidate. Didn't get anything out of it, which was stunning. But Ranta left that game. Kochetkov came in, played great. That was the game where he went after Brad Marchand, which made Kochetkov a national hero.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves him.
He started the next game. It didn't go as well. They went back to Ranta. And Ranta played until he couldn't. Anderson would have been ready to come back for the following series, except they lost Game 7 at home to the Rangers, and the season was over. Last year, Freddie was back. Ranta played better. Ranta started games 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 against the Islanders. Antti Ranta, nobody is more fragile than
Right.
Ranta.
He's like paper
He is made out of paper mache.
in a storm.
By the way, I think he's back. He'll be back. He should be in the building tonight.
Oh,
That would
nice.
be really, really cool.
Yes.
Because the Wolves' season ended,
Yes.
so he should be back. I don't know if he'll be in the building, but I would assume soon we'll see Antti Ranta. But if you're Rod, and then he went to Freddie in Game 6 against the Islanders, and then it was Freddie until it was over. Right? The only game Ranta played after that was Game 2 of the series against Florida, because Game 1 almost ran into the start time of Game 2, which was 2 days later.
Right.
It's going to be Anderson tonight. That's my hunch. Mostly because it just makes logical sense knowing what I know about the head coach. Kochetkov will play either in Game 3 or in Game 4 of this series, because I don't believe Anderson will play both. Game 3 is, I believe, a 7 o'clock start on Thursday. Game 4 is a 2 o'clock start on Saturday. I just don't think Freddie's going to play both games.
Yeah.
Kochetkov, depending on what happens tonight, Kochetkov will either start Game 3 or Game 4. I think if Carolina loses tonight, which is possible, I think we'll see Anderson again in Game 4, unless he plays poorly. I think we'll see Anderson again in Game 3 on Thursday, and then we'll see Kochetkov in Game 4.
Yeah.
But if the Hurricanes take a 2-0 lead back to the island, I do think it'll be Kochetkov in Game 3. And then it'll be Anderson again in Game 4.
And we do have a little bit of NFL breaking news.
Oh, I see. Now I'm scared. Before you tell me, should I be scared?
No, but
Okay.
it might be funny though. I feel like there's humor in this. So, Rap Sheet has said that Zach Wilson is on the move. He's going to the Denver Broncos. He has been traded.
Should be so much fun. Should be so much fun with Sean Payton.
I know.
Oh.
This is fantastic. So he was, quote, hoping for a fresh start. This deal includes a late round pick swap, 6th for a 7th, and the the Jets will pay some of Wilson's roughly $5.5 million salary.
My gosh.
Yes. So
wait a second. So Zach Wilson didn't even bring a draft pick back.
No. This is just too good.
What
Man.
a draft pick.
I know.
Seriously, if you're Woody Johnson,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fireable.
I know.
The pick was so bad. It turned out so bad
Yeah.
that he has no value. You couldn't even really get anything for him.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
What'd they get for Justin Fields? They got a 5th, right?
I think so.
The Bears
yeah.
got a 5th rounder.
Yeah. I know.
That makes that look like a heist.
They're just going from like one diva to another type of diva. What are we doing?
That is so funny.
This is great.
Look, Zach Wilson has great raw athletic ability, but he has got no brain to play the position.
And a huge ego.
None. Yeah, he does, but he has no brain
No.
to process playing quarterback.
No.
My gosh. Well, there was one other bit of news I actually never got to. The Duke has trying to get the Mason Gibbs. Is it Mason Gibbs? Let me see. From Mason Gillis, a forward from Purdue, who shot 47% from three-point range, out of the portal to Duke. So the Blue Devils, who lost 7 players,
a lot,
to the transfer portal. Like, my mother-in-law's a Duke fan, and I'm trying to talk her off the ledge. Like, Duke's recruiting class coming in, all these kids have to play. And all of the players who left Duke were likely going to see limited or no playing time.
Yes.
It was inevitable that this was going to happen. But Duke pulled 2 players out of the portal already, and my suspicion is they will go for another. Both of these players are 6'8" forwards. One of them is more shooter. The other is more defender, but with some slashing ability offensively. Malik Brown from Syracuse, Mason Gillis from Purdue. So these are 2 very good additions to the Blue Devil roster. My guess is they will add a guard out of the transfer portal, but man, they have so much talent coming in. We talked earlier, we're not even going to get to it now, but Al Hood from Tar Heel Blog, we talked about Harrison Ingram, who declared for the NBA draft, which I guess I wish him well. I don't see him as a draftable player, certainly not in the first round. Maybe he gets drafted in the second round, but he could be a 3-and-D guy in the NBA. But man, it's a long way to developing into that. He was a good shooter, but a streaky shooter at UNC, so he will have to establish a bona fide three-point threat. The defense, I think he can handle. He's certainly strong, but we'll see. I wish him luck. Victoria, thank you very much. Canes, Game 2, Islanders tonight. Let's hope Carolina plays their game.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Autobell Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside